Hello and welcome to part 21 of my Let's Play series of videos for Dwarf Fortress. I'm Sippy Cup, and I hope you've been still enjoying these. They've been a little bit less informative and a little bit more just laughing at me because I suck at this game. But actually I'm having a little bit of success here. This bed, the one that's all red, is covered in somebody's blood. This guy, Uvash. So at first I was afraid that he died and already got buried or something. And so I started looking around for him. Well, it turns out he's in the barracks doing combat drills. I guess he's a badass. He's got some damage to his right hand, left upper leg, left foot. If I come over and look at his, this thing here, press Z and then look at his thoughts, turns out he's missing his right ear. And if you remember, I think 1 or 2 videos ago, I found his ear down in the 3rd cavern level. It got sliced off somehow and is still down there. So, bummer for him. But yeah, I guess he's pretty hardcore. And because this guy's such a badass, I thought I'd just go ahead and give him a cool nickname. You can actually do that in Dwarf Therapist. You can just come in here, and I found him in this military tab. Well, you can find him on any of the tabs, but I believe if you just right-click him, you can set nickname. So I'm going to rename him One Ear to commemorate his nasty wound. So there he is. And then I think if I just refresh that somewhere around here. Let's see, where is he? Oh yeah, I figured out what it was. I had to click commit pending changes instead of reading the dwarves again. So actually, I renamed a couple of guys. This guy I renamed Hammer Grim to remind me that he's got some hammer skill. This guy renamed One Ear because, well, he's got one ear now. And let's see, there's a couple other ones. Who else did I have? Monkey Strangler, if you recall, this guy. Oh, you know, actually, I didn't show you in this video because it happened when I wasn't recording. But this guy actually got a monkey in a headlock and choked him to death, and I thought it was so badass that I named him Monkey Strangler. He's got a lot of skill in fighting. He's a master fighter, so this guy's a pretty hardcore wrestler. And then I think I have like one more special nickname that I gave, and I think it's this guy, Meat Hewer. I don't know, he did something pretty badass too, so I just gave him a cool name. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back and see what's going on in here. So I was successful in getting people to start filling up this little pond zone that I designated. It turns out that what I had to do was actually go back to the water source outside. I don't know if you saw this in the last video, I think you did. But I set a zone out here. The zone I just set on the bank, I think that the zone actually needs to, part of it needs to be on the bank and part of it needs to be in the water in order for it to work. So here comes a guy with a bucket that's going to take some water out of here and take it down into my thing here. This is actually, you can, through creative use of this mechanic, you can irrigate stuff inside with a kind of a bucket brigade, and it's kind of complicated. It basically involves building a farm plot. I keep getting off on these tangents, but I hope it's not too distracting for you guys. But let's say, for example, you've got this farm plot right here, right? If you actually come above it and you channel this out, you can designate the area that you channeled out as a pond by using this zone thing here, where you do I for zones, and you place a zone, then you set it as this one, P, pit pond, and then you have to set this, capital P, and then press F so that it says is pond. Anyway, I'm going to remove this one, but then basically what happens is that they think it's a pond and they start throwing buckets of water. Well, of course, it's not really a pond, it's actually just a hole that goes down onto your farm plot, and then they'll throw exactly 1 unit of water onto it. And then I think you don't want to get too much water, because if it doesn't evaporate, that's a problem. If you have like more than 2 units of water, it makes that part of the farm unusable. Anyway, so getting back to the point, eventually this is going to get filled up, and I think it needs to be a depth of 3 at the minimum before it can be used as a well. So once that gets up to 3, I can start using it as a well. And to make a well, I believe you need like a rope or a chain, you need a bucket, you need a wooden block, and think that's it. There might be one other thing that I'm forgetting, but I'm pretty sure I have all of that stuff already. So once this gets full enough, I'll go ahead and build a well there, and then I'll make sure that it's inside my hospital, and my doctor can use it to wash up. So that'll be pretty cool. So actually, as long as I'm over here, let's check my hospital stocks now and see what's going on here. Press this, let's see. So, I see my guy's got some thread, but I also see that I don't have any thread in here, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but you can see at least I've got some buckets, I've got some crutches and a splint here, and some cloth, so I can get part of the way to getting these guys back on their feet. So that's good. So let me pause it for a little bit here until... Oh, and I still got to deal with this guy. He needs some crap that I don't think I have for him. So I might have to wall him in too. Well, we'll see. Let me pause. Wow, this is pretty unbelievable. Even without thread and plaster, I managed to get everybody out of the hospital. So they're not completely healed, but they're in pretty decent shape. I'm still not sure what to do about this guy though. He wants stuff, and I'm having a hard time figuring out what exactly he needs. There's, like I said, blocks, shining bars, cloth, which I have a ton of, quarry, who knows. Anyway, well, I'm gonna keep trying to make some stuff that falls into these categories and see if I can find what he needs. Okay, I'm starting to get really really worried about this guy. I've got plenty of cloth. I've got rough gems, quite a few of those. I've made almost one of every kind of bar. There's a couple kinds of things I'm trying to smelt right now, just in case. But yeah, I'm not too sure. There's a good chance that this guy's going to go crazy. I'm wondering if I should wall him in or hold out hope. I guess if he goes crazy, I can always activate my militia and kill him. But probably going to be some bad thoughts associated with that, but well, we'll just take our chances, because if I can get him to be a good armor smith or weaponsmith, it'll probably be worth it trying to keep him alive. So well, let's see what happens. A quick glance at Dwarf Therapist reveals that nobody is super unhappy anymore. We've got a few people that are not, this guy's unhappy, so, but it's getting better, at least they're not miserable. And we'll see if we can make him any better. Oh, before I forget, somebody made a really good point that this bridge I made here so that I could seal off the fortress, it was a bad idea to put the lever here, and that's actually really smart. And I've run into that problem before where you send somebody to activate the lever and they get scared by any invaders that are coming. So it's actually much better to put it somewhere like down here where there's always a ton of people. So I'm actually going to disassemble that lever right now. Just go ahead and remove this building with X, and then theoretically that should automatically unlink it, but we'll see what happens, and then I'll build a new lever down here in the dining room. Then if we come under attack from goblins or whatever, somebody will be right here and they'll just immediately pull the lever and lock down the fort. That's the hope anyway. Before I forget, I also wanted to mention a good trick that somebody pointed out to me on Something Awful forums, and that was that if you come to a workshop where somebody is possessed and you press T, the T key is this one for view items and buildings, you can come and actually forbid the materials that they're trying to use to make their strange creation. So if I came in here and forbade these iron bars, it basically causes him to reset and go get the materials again. Now this doesn't make him completely need an entirely new set of items. What it does do is it seems to prolong the amount of time that he can maintain this mood before he goes crazy. So I'm just gonna try to keep getting the stuff that he needs and resetting him periodically. I don't know if that's considered an exploit or what, but I don't know. I mean, I really want this guy to become a legendary, metal crafter or weaponsmith or armor smith, because that will really make my life easier when I start trying to conquer some of those caverns and stuff later. So yeah, thanks to whoever that was. Let me check real quick and I'll tell you. Atomicus was his name, so wherever you are, thank you Atomicus for that excellent tip. It's definitely allowed me to get some extra time out of this guy, and I hope that I can get the stuff that he needs, so thanks again. Hey, and we've got another trade caravan rolling in, so hopefully these guys have something interesting that I can use to get my guy out of his funk. We'll see. I have tons of stuff that I can trade, so I could probably buy out the entire caravan. Ooh, exciting. We've just gotten an ambush. Let's see what we've got. We have Goblin something or other. Let's see. Got some kind of goblin guy here. A lasher. An axeman. Well, I'm going to activate my entire militia and send them out to defend the fortress. So I should have a military alert already set up for that. So let's check and make sure we've got everything set up right. Okay, so I think I've got everything set up the way it needs to be. The only problem that I can foresee is that there's at least a few people outside the fortress, and the caravan is here. So I really want to protect the caravan. I have no choice, I think, but to order the lever to get thrown to raise the drawbridge. Then I'm going to activate my militia, and hopefully they arm up quickly, and then I'll drop the drawbridge and have my guys go fight them. So, well, let's see what happens. So I need to go down here. I need to order this lever to get pulled. So pull the lever, and hopefully that drawbridge gets pulled up in short order. And then, okay, so let me pause for a sec in case shit hits a fan. One sec. Alright, the lever has been pulled, the drawbridge has raised. A couple of people are stuck outside. A metal crafter, peasant, and I don't know, probably a couple others. Here come the goblins. Who else we have out here? A woodcutter, and a planter. Well, they're probably going to die, but we'll see. Okay, next order of business is to activate my squads. I don't want to just order them to defend the entrance right away because they may not arm up first. I want them to equip weapons before anything, so I'm going to select both of them. So A and B, and we will make them, for some reason I can't. I might have to do this one at a time. Let's just try this one at a time. So let's make them active training, B, active training, and let's resume and see what happens here. In theory, they should all be getting armed up and ready to fight. And what's going on out here? Oh, yeah, it looks like the goblins made pretty short work of the dwarves that were outside. But something's wrong with this guy. This goblin has some serious problems. Wow, his upper body's cut open, his right floating rib is broken, his liver is fractured. I didn't know you could fracture a liver, that's pretty sweet. And his left lower arm is gone. Let me pause here. Well, good news and bad news. The good news is that that the goblin that got fucked up outside was engaged by one of my really good fighters, Meteor. The other bad news is that Meteor died. Looks like he got a halberd stuck into his leg and then twisted around, and then an iron scourge, which I guess is like a flail, shattered his skull and crushed his brain. So he's basically dead. Let's see if we can get some combat. I'm actually running out of time for this video, which sucks because I really want to show you guys the rest of the fight. I guess I'll just have to make another one. So let me go ahead and stop this one for now. The next one will be continuation of Goblin combat.